Hi, welcome back to our channel, Sarah and Chance Worldwide.
Today we want to talk to you about one of the nicest Airbnbs we've probably ever stayed in, and how it coincidentally was probably the cheapest Airbnb we've ever seen in Japan or in general.
So on our last trip to Japan this fall, we took a trip to Ehime, which is a little island that's just south of the main island of Japan. It's like a chunk between the Fukuoka and the Osaka area. It's beautiful. We went to Ehime to bike the Shimanami Kaido bike route that goes across the 7 islands that we talked about in our last video, so check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we stayed at this Airbnb to start and finish that journey.
Yeah, the options are usually either go to Onomichi and get an Airbnb or a hostel or a hotel in Imabari at the end of the cycle, and then take a bus back or vice versa. We just got the cheapest one because it was in Imabari, and then did it from there basically.
We actually booked an Airbnb on both locations and then ended up liking this one so much that we didn't end up going to the one in Onomichi and just came straight back.
So if you don't know, it's pretty easy to get to Imabari from Osaka. If you're going to be at Osaka, Shin Osaka Station, it's about 3-hour train ride. So if you're going down to Osaka, you could just make a day or two down to Imabari and stay here and just experience this place, because not many people go there, especially if you're not biking the Shimanami Kaido. People don't really go down in this area, and it's definitely a place you need to see in Japan.
Yeah, if you're looking to get away from kind of like the tourist hype, definitely we recommend Ehime. So the house itself is like an old style Japanese house in a neighborhood. It's beautiful. When you walk in, it almost feels like you're in an art museum. They have so much antique art and paintings and sculptures everywhere you look. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, so it's your traditional tatami style living. You walk in, there's a entrance area that you take off your shoes. You walk into your room, it's got sliding rice paper doors. You walk into that room, and then all of a sudden you're just surrounded by artwork and cool trinkets and just crazy
Books,
decorations, and it's
They've got
amazing.
Lanterns, yeah, it's so beautiful.
Definitely.
So it is tatami sleeping, which I know some people kind of don't enjoy, but literally it was the most comfortable tatami mat experience we've ever had. The mats felt like beds, like you wouldn't even know you were on the floor. It was so great.
Seriously, I mean, usually whenever we go to a tatami style place and you have the futon that's on the ground or on the floor, I usually wake up, my back kind of hurts. I'm just like,
it's a little rough.
but this place, I don't know what they did differently, but these futons were
so
top notch.
So good. So it is really cheap, so you would expect that it was probably a shared sleeping space, but it is not. You get your own private room. You do share the bathroom and the kitchen, so it's a share house, but you do get your own space.
So speaking of having a shared kitchen, you actually aren't really making your own meals most likely, because when we showed up, they messaged us on Airbnb and were like, so you're coming down at this time, like, do you want us to make you food? And we were like, no, it's okay. We're vegan and we don't want to stress you out with all of that. Like, it's totally fine. We have our own food.
We're really used to that, basically, like always turning that down because people don't really know what veganism is. So yeah, we always say no.
We showed up, it was probably like 10 p.m. and we got picked up from the train station, even though we didn't ask to be, taken back, and they made us some rice cakes, like sweet rice cakes with tea, just to fill out our paperwork, and sat down and talked with us. And then the next morning they made us breakfast again, and they made us breakfast again.
We literally had told them, like, don't do it, like, don't worry about it, we're super, like, we feel like an inconvenience, like, please don't. And they still just have to, like, they're so accommodating, so nice. We had too much to eat. It was great.
Definitely look forward to having the nicest hosts possible.
Yeah, it's an old couple. I think that they were in their 80s, and they spent their young days traveling the world together, and now that they're in their old age, they get the pleasure that they had from traveling, from hosting travelers and hearing the stories that we've had traveling around the world. So it's really, really sweet.
All right, so it's comfortable. The hosts are extremely accommodating, will go out of the way to do almost anything for you. It's centrally located near Imabari Station, and you get a ride to and from the station even if you don't need it, just because. So I know what you're thinking. With all those things, it has to be more than you're willing to pay, and we're just crazy and spend too much money on our vacation. but I'm telling you, it's really cheap. I thought it was more expensive than it was, and I had to go look to make sure.
Cheap.
It's $12 a night, US dollars.
$12.
12.
That's insane. That's less than a meal for a whole place to stay plus meals.
Plus meals. That's 2 nights.
Wow.
We stayed for $24, and on top of that, it's even cheaper technically because all of the proceeds, everything that you pay to them, they donate directly to Doctors Without Borders.
Yep. It's this old couple, they're financially comfortable, and they're literally just doing Airbnb to house travelers, to hear travelers' stories, to relive their traveling days, and every bit of the proceeds goes to Doctors Without Borders, and that's amazing.
All in all, this was the nicest Airbnb we've ever been to, and ended up being the cheapest, practically free if you consider donating the money that they would have earned away, and they're not making anything from this in general.
So ethical. Like, it just feels good to stay there. Highly recommend staying there if you want to bike the Shimanami Kaido or just explore a different part of Japan than you have already or that most people do. We highly recommend this Airbnb. It was amazing.
Definitely go stay there. Say that we sent you.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if they'll remember us, but just tell them Chance and Sarah. They'll probably remember.
Yeah, they were so nice.
So if you haven't clicked away from this video yet because you want to hear everything we have to say about this place, you're a real one. And there's one more thing that we want to talk about that isn't really important to the rest of the video, like it doesn't add any value or anything, but I wanted to throw this in. Sarah wanted to talk about it because it was kind of a crazy thing that happened when we showed up. We sat down, talked to both Tsuneto-san and Akiko-san, who are the husband and wife that run this place, and they had us fill out this piece of paper, and they had like a religion part, and we did like...
Yeah, it was like a questionnaire. It was like, what's your name, your age, where you're from, where have you been, and what religion do you practice? So it was pretty like in-depth, like character questions. It was more than we've ever gotten from an Airbnb.
And I was worried that like if I put the wrong thing, they were gonna be like, oh, you can't stay here, you have to go.
Buddhists only.
Yeah, but it was because Tsuneto went and wrote a research paper on his religion that he believes he founded.
Yeah, he invented it.
Yeah, and it's basically me, Chance. Like, as he like when he heard my name, he freaked out because he was like, "This is fate, 100%. Thank you. You're gonna be the Messiah."
Yeah, it was really wild.
So this religion, they had it marked on the thing as NOBA, and we did not know what that meant. So we were like completely clueless. Ended up being not only but also, which basically just ended up being everyone is everyone and will be everyone forever.
Yeah, it's like a very deeply like spiritual religion, I guess you'd say. Like it seemed like the Beatles song, like the I am, he is, you are, he is, like that whole idea that they have where it's like I am him and he is me, so if I'm mean to him then I'm being mean to myself, was like the dumbed down way that he explained it to us basically.
So basically it's just saying be a good person to everybody because they are yourself. Treat everyone else like you would treat yourself.
And like the whole concept of chance being in that, basically like you have the chance every day to like meet another part of yourself and do unto that person as you would want done unto yourself. And so he heard Chance's name and was like, oh. It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, he gave us the essay actually, so I have the copy of it, and it's really crazy to read.
Yeah, it's like 7 pages long, like very what's the word, like educational writing style. Like really big words and well written, and
like he sent it in to scientists.
Multiple scientists, professors, everything. Yeah, so he deeply cares about this, and if you go stay there, he'll probably want to talk to you about it, and it's pretty cool.
Let's be ready for that.
Yeah.
If you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Check out our vlog series as we're talking about all this stuff right now. We were in Japan for a honeymoon, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.